Hello wonderful people, it's Wild here. Today I'll be showing you how to build this Christmas house or village shop. This versatile build is super cozy, so let's get creating. The materials you'll need for this build are on your screen now. Here is the outline for today's build. You can see it's 13 blocks across at the back, and then the front is divided into two sections. The gap at the front there is where our door is going. To begin our build, we'll need some stripped mangrove logs, some oak logs, and some stripped spruce logs. And I've also got some lime wool here to act as a placeholder block, but you could use anything, even dirt. I'm going to start on the left-hand side of this build, placing in 2 mangrove logs here and here. I'll then use some placeholder blocks to face my logs forward like this. I'll then add 3 on top and build up some higher blocks with these placeholder blocks to add in 2 more logs facing forwards. So it should be a total of 6 high. Then I'll connect these up with some more mangrove logs. So we should have a frame, and I can break these lime wool now. Next I'll switch to some oak logs, and I'm going to start putting these in all the corners, building up 6 high. Once they're all 6 high, I'll divide this back wall into 2 groups of 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then my post, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, build that up 6 high. And then I'll rotate round to this left-hand side here, which should have a 7 block gap, and divide it into 2 groups of 3 with the post in the middle. I'll also come round to the front, and on the other side of this doorway I'll build up a post, so that we have a group of 3 here at the front. Then we can connect all of these up with some logs. Just like that. I'll also switch to some stripped spruce logs, and on the right hand side of the build I'll place these along the bottom layer. When we get to this halfway marker, which is where this smaller section joins into the larger section, I'm going to jump up and place these logs 1 block above the bottom. And I'll also fill in this little gap here. So here's what we should have so far. I'll come inside the build next, and I'm going to place in 2 dark oak stairs coming across, and then build up with my post to the same 6 block height. If you'd like, you can have just a 1 wide walkway through here, and in that case you'd move your post 1 over. I'm then going to connect these up, and I'll be filling in this wall later, but I can add some stripped spruce logs along the bottom. Now we're going to work on these supports for the second story, and I'm going to start by building up 4 high, 1, 2, 3, 4, in each of these corners. Like that, as well as in the center of each wall. Like this. Then on this smaller section here, I'm just going to add an additional 2 blocks on top of each of these, as well as 1 in here, so it should look like that. I'll then also build up 3 high, 1, 2, 3, on top of each of these center ones here, so that we have a nicer pointing shape ready to add in our gable. Now we need to start filling in these walls and adding in some windows. We're going to start on this front wall here. I'm going to fill in across the bottom, and then I'm going to make a little window frame. And for this window, it's going to be a 2x3 window with 1 block coming up in the center like that. Moving up, I'm going to create a 2 high window on either side of this center post. And I'm using white stained glass here. I like the frosty look it gives. I'm also going to build up my smooth sandstone to create a gable point, like that. Moving on to this section of the build, I'll build a 2 high window like this. I'll fill in above the door, and I'll fill in this wall entirely. I'll then build up 2 high to match the height of these posts, and build up the total 4 blocks high to fill in the height of these posts. Rotating round to the right hand side now, we're going to have two 1-high windows here with a 1-block gap in between, and then fill in the rest of the wall. And then above it, we're going to have one window centered in the middle, like this. And then I just want to create a little gable going up over the top, like that. I'll also come back and fill in this wall. Now I'm going to add in a doorway, and I think I'll have it centered here, so I'll leave room for that. And then I'll come up and I'm actually going to place one additional block here, and you can see that lines up with the point of our gable, so that way we don't end up having any holes in our roof or our walls. Now we'll come round to the back side of our build. We're going to have another grouping of 2 windows here at the back, and totally fill in this wall, like that. Now for this section, I'll fill across the bottom, have another 2 grouping of windows, and then like we had on the front, I'm going to have 2 windows on either side of the center post. And I'll build up my gable, like this. Onto the final side of this build here, we'll fill across the bottom, add in 2 windows, and 2 more windows here. I'll also come inside and fill in this wall joining these 2 rooms. Now if you'd like to have this as one open plan space, keep in mind that the floor is going to go at this level and then in the ground level here, so you could take out this post and build your stairs all the way across. But now we've got all our walls in, we can start working on the floors and the roofs. Alright, for my floors I'm going to be using some stripped dark oak logs, some spruce slabs, some oak logs, a spruce trapdoor and some ladders. I'm going to come inside my build and start clearing out this floor. I only need to clear out this little 5x5 section here, and then I can put in my floor. Then when I come up to this next section, I'm just going to fill it right in at this level here. I like to change up the direction of my floorboards, it just makes the floor a little bit more interesting. There we go, we've got the bottom layer done. Now I'm going to switch to some oak logs and add in some beams. We're going to have one going right down the center of this room, and then down the center in the other direction. And then I can fill in at the top layer here with some spruce slabs. This is not only going to be the floor for the second story, but also if we go and have a look from underneath, you can see it gives this lovely beamed effect. I want to do the same thing in this room here, so I'll just go straight across this way and that way. When I fill in here, I'm going to leave this trapdoor space ready for our ladder. And don't forget, if you're building this in survival, now's a good time to add in some torches on the lower level of your build. There we go, we've got all of our floors in. Let's get working on the roof. Before we add on the actual roof itself, we're going to add in some chimneys for our fireplaces. It's a lot easier to do this before we add in the roof. So I'm going to come to this gable here, and I'm going to count down 1, and then I'm going to add a sandstone, then a smooth sandstone, and then a regular sandstone again. I'll come to this side with a wall, and then I'm going to add a campfire and surround it with some birch trapdoors. So that's our first chimney in, and we'll look at the side so you can check out the placement. Now we want to add in our second chimney. This large one is going on the left hand side of the build, so you want to find this section of the wall here. I'm going to start by placing in a sandstone like this on top of this sandstone block here. Then I'm going to come up with another sandstone block, one coming towards the back, and then one out to the side like this. So you should have this kind of Tetris block shaped piece. Now we want to build up on top of this. I'm going in with a layer of sandstone. Then I'll go in with a sandstone stair, some smooth sandstone and a bit more sandstone here. And then another 2 blocks on top of that. So it should look like this. I'm going to go in with some walls now. I'm going to add in one here. I'll add in a block behind this. And then one more block on top. Like that. I've got 2 walls going on this side. And then one behind here. And now we need to add in our campfires. One on top of each of these points, and then they're going to be all surrounded with some more birch trapdoors. So here's what it should look like. For our roof, we'll be using deep slate tile, stairs and slabs, as well as some snow, and then I've got some snow to go on top of our snow blocks later. I'm going to start on this part of the roof here. I'm going to build across 4, and then I'm going to mix in a little bit of snow, and we're doing this so that we get a snowed on look on our roof. I want my roof to extend 1 block out over the edge here, and then I'm just going to continue up my gable, working around where we've got some snow going in, as well as our chimney. So I'm going up to this height here like this, and then I'll start coming over this way. When I get to here, this is where we're going to start joining into our other roof, but I'll just continue building along. I'm going to add in a little bit more snow here. And there we go. And then along the top, we're going to be using some slabs. I'm going to put a stair here facing upwards. I'll use a placeholder block for that. And then facing outwards, I'm going to come across with another slab, some snow, and then one more slab. So it should look like this from the front. I'm now at the back side of the build, and I'm going to start by building 3 across here, including the one that's 1 over the edge. Then I'll add in a snow block. I'll go in with 3 more snow here. I'll use a placeholder block to add in another snow block and 1 here as well. And then I'm going to go in with my deep slate tiles to fill in around this. I also want to put a snow block in here and then continue filling in. Now I actually want to have a snow block coming up on the diagonal here. So I think I'll add one in here and then continue along. So here's how the back should look. Now we want to work on this side of the roof that is joining with this gable we've already built. I'm going to start on this back side. I'm going to come up with 2 snow blocks here and here, and then I want to build out 2 from this snow block with my deep slate stairs. And I can go up the height of the gable as well. I want to have a snow block coming across this way, so I've got 2 going here, and then I'll have a slab on the top and 2 going here, like that. And I can fill in around this with some stairs. And I'm already 1 block out here, so I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 over, lining up with this corner joined block here to start adding in my next grouping of snow. 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. I'll come 1 down on that side and use a placeholder block to come 1 up there. And I'll keep filling in around this. I'm using a slab here because this is where we're joining in our gable. And switching back to my stairs. I'd like to have some snow on this edge here. I'll place that in and then continue connecting it up, building up the height of the gable here. And once I get to the top, I'm going to switch to some slabs. I'd like 1 more snow on the top of the roof, and then I'm going to create the little curvy points like we have on that gable. Using some stairs, I'll face 1 upwards and then outwards. And I'm doing this on both sides. So you can see it looks like this from the join, and this when we're looking at the side of the build. Now we need to move around and do this last left-hand side of the build. I'm going to start by building 2 across here with my deep slate stairs, and now I'm going to add in some snow. We've got a grouping of snow here like this. Build up with some more stairs. And then I want some snow coming in behind here, like that. I'll come in with some stairs as well. And I'm going to place a snow in here. Right, now we're working on this side of the build. I'm going to come down with my stairs underneath the chimney and bring them in front as well. I'll build one extra over towards the front, and then I'm adding in some more snow in a little shape like that. And I want some snow here, like that, and then I can fill in the rest with my stairs. Like this. Now this is a good base for our snow-topped decorated roof, but we're going to go in with some actual snow now, and I'm just going to pile this up at different heights to make the snowdrifts look a little smoother. Like that. And it's entirely up to you how much or how little you add to these snowdrifts. You just want it to have a natural feel. So think about how the snow might pile up if it had fallen on a roof. Of course, it's going to pile up lots in the corners. So along here, I'm adding extra snow. And then it might pile up higher in the center of one of these peaks like this. So it's just about going in and placing in some snow until you get a look that you're happy with. So I'm going to have quite a lot piled up here next to the chimney, as well as back here behind the chimney. And I think we've covered all of our snow blocks now, and we've got a nice frosty look to the top of our roof. Now we want to start adding some details, and we've got quite a bit to add here. I'm going to start by going in with some oak logs, and I'm placing these coming out of each of these joins in the woodwork. I'm also going to place these on the mangrove logs coming towards the front, as well as in this little corner here. Now I'm going to switch to some spruce stairs, and I want to create little arches going over each of these sections, as well as using a slab. I'm also going to place a slab in this corner block. Some of the sections you'll need to build across with 3 slabs, and then ones like this you'll just need 1 slab. When you get to this back section here, and this is on the left hand side if you're looking from the front, or the right hand side if you're looking at it from the back, I'm just going to place in the stairs like this. But beside it I will go in with my stairs and slabs. Now that all the stairs and slabs are in, I'm going to switch to some spruce fences, and I'm going to place a log underneath the point of this gable and then build up the height with some spruce fences, and the same on the other side. Like that. I'm going to do the same on this gable here. And then I'm going to add spruce fences on top of each of these beams that are sticking out, building up the height. So here I need to put a log underneath the gable, as well as here. But then on these side walls, I'll just build up to the height of the roof. Just like that. I'm going to do the same along the bottom, so I'll build all the way up the height of these oak logs with my spruce fences. And then I'll also go up the side of this mangrove log here, on both that side, and then we need to leave this side empty so that we have a nice clear walkway through into our front door. Now we're going to be adding in some window decorations, and for this I'll be using some red nether brick stairs. On the upper story window here on the 2 gables, I'm going to add in some red nether brick stairs, and I'll be placing a mangrove fence gate which I'm flicking open underneath them. On either side, I'm going to add in some dark oak trapdoors for window shutters, and I'll also do the same thing on these windows here. I then want to add in some planters. I'm going to put the planter straight across the top here and then add in my spruce trapdoors to surround it. And I'm going to plant some sweet berries and use some bone meal to grow them so we have this lovely lush red and green look. Some planters on these smaller windows as well. You could mix this up and use some other florals if you'd like, or ferns would be nice. And I'll have a 3 wide planter across here. There we go, it should look like that. Next, I'm going to come down to these windows here and I want to create a similar window decoration, going in with my red nether brick stairs, mangrove fence gates, and a planter. And don't forget to add some window shutters. Now it's up to you, you can have the look where you have just a one window shutter like that, or you can go in and add a window shutter on either side. I like the look of the extra wood here. Next, I'll come around to the front of the build and we're going to add some decorations to this red section here. I'm going in with a red nether brick wall, then some red nether brick stairs, and I'm rotating them so they face inwards like this. I'll go in with 2 more walls and finish off with a stair which I'm placing upside down. So it should look like that. I'm also going to go in with a red nether brick wall and I'm going to count 2 blocks out and place it so it lines up with there and with that post there, and I'll build that 3 high. That's going to work for our canopy. Continuing on this window decoration, I'm going in with 2 dark oak stairs here and here. Then I'm going to create a little planter and I've placed a trapdoor underneath there. And I'm going to plant some berries in here. Then I'm going to come up either side with 2 trapdoors. And I want to create an arch going over the top. So I'll use a placeholder block. I'm just using some coarse dirt at the moment. And I go either side of that and then place a slab in the center. So it should look like this. Now we'll move on to this section here to add some decoration. For this window, I'm simply going to add some dark oak trapdoors for window shutters, as well as a little planter. And then we want to start adding in our canopy. Now for this, I'm going to place a red wool on top of this red post we have created here. Then I'll need to break these 2 fences to make room for the wool, and I'm going to stripe red and white. You could change up the colours of these, some green might be a fun addition. And I'm going all the way across like this. Oops, make sure your stripes are stripy. Perfect. I'm also going to add in a mangrove fence gate to this section here and to this section here. So it should look like that. We're going to continue rotating around and working in these windows now. I'm going to start with this top gable window on this side, and I'm adding in a red nether brick stair and a gate, as well as my planters with trapdoors and some sweet berries. And don't forget to add in your trapdoor window shutters like this. Now we're going to move down to the bottom story. Once again, I'm going to have my trapdoor window shutters only on the 2 outer sides here. I've got another planter. And then here I'm going to create a little canopy. So it's going to start with a red here, and then I'm going to have white on either side, and it's just 3 wide. Then I'm going to add a mangrove fence gate to either side, and then build my canopy 1 lower, like that. We also need to add some window decorations to this back side, and just like we did here, I'm going to go in with the planter first, and I'll need to be placing it on the lower level here, so not in front of the spruce, and then I'll go in with my trapdoors to surround it and plant my berries. Then I'm going to add in my trapdoor window shutters. And and then create the same little canopies with the red in the center and the white on either side. So the back should look like this. Some more details we need to add. We need to finish off underneath these gables. So I'm going in with a stripped mangrove log and then a mangrove trapdoor. I'll add some stairs on either side, and then I'm going to hang a lantern from that mangrove log. Like that. And I'll do that on all the gables. So of course on this gable here I won't be able to hang a lantern, but I will go in with that log. I am also going to place a lantern just on that spruce there. Now for the front. There we go. Now I'm going to come underneath the canopy here. I'm going to add a trapdoor as well as a lantern. And I'm going to put in my door. I'm placing this from the inside on the grass block, so not on this block. If I place it from the inside on this dark oak block, you'll see it be set one block back. So it should look like that. And then we're going to go in with some snow to just add a little bit more of that frosty feel to the build. So like we did up on the roof, I'm going to go and just create some snow drifts along the top here. Think about where the snow might build up. I'm going to add some underneath on these sections. And I'm just going to go around the build and check for any other locations I could add some snow. So I'll add some snow on top of each of these little canopies. I want each one to be a little bit different. I'll also add some snow underneath here. Like that. And some snow on top of this canopy. Like that. The outside of this build is just about finished, but we have some important details to build inside. Let's have a look. In particular, we've got to add some work to the inside of the top story because you can see all the snow poking through. But before we do that, I'm going to grab out my loom, a green banner and 2 white dye to make some stripy curtains. I can put my loom away now. And I'm going to hang these up in front of each of the windows like this. I'm going to do this on the lower story as well. This extra pop of green really makes this build feel Christmassy. Okay, there we go. I'll also add some lanterns in. I like to hang these from the center of the joins in these beams. And then I'm going to switch to some torches to light the rest of this build. So I'm going to place one on all of these joins here. So we've got one here and one here. Some in this archway, and some leading into this room, just like that. Now I'm going to go upstairs and we're going to work on this roof here, as well as adding in some fireplaces. So in this smaller room, I want to add in a fireplace, just by placing in some stairs like this. And I'll add in a campfire, as well as a chimney. I also want to add a fireplace to this room here, and I'm going to create it the same way, except this time for the chimney, I'm going to place a smooth sandstone at the top and then some sandstone walls like that. Now we can start working on this roof, and for this I'll be using some dark oak stairs and just placing them upside down to cover up all the snow. In the center, you'll need to use some planks. I can light up this room as well using some torches. And the room in here too. I like to have one over the top of the doorway in this room. Going with some more stairs to finish off the roof. And this just gives a much more clean look to your build. And look at that, it's nice and cozy with the dark oak roof. So here's the finished build. Now this is a bit of a sneak peek for a Christmas project I'm working on. So if you'd like to see how I've decorated this build, as well as the other things you can see around it, make sure to leave a comment and check out my Patreon, as this is going to be a Christmas surprise for all of my server members. Now I've decided to decorate this build as a candy shop, but this would make a perfect house or a town build. So that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Merry Christmas!